Namaskar, dear viewers. Today in this episode, we will take a tour of one of the exhibits from the Kumhar Para, the Pottery Trail open-air exhibitions of the Indira Gandhi Rashtriya Manav Sangrahalaya. The exhibits comes from the Kumar and Hira potters of Assam. This exhibit talks about the pottery traditions of these two communities, and now we will be venturing into the pottery tradition from the Kumar community of Salmora village in Majuli district of Assam. In the far northeastern states of Assam in India, the world's largest and famous river island Majuli lies on the northeastern periphery of the mighty Brahmaputra river. The island was previously under the administrative jurisdiction of the Jorhat district, and now it has been given a complete status of a district on 8 September 2016. Presently, the island has a total stretch of landmass covering about 352 square kilometers. According to the 2011 census, the total population of the island inhabitant is 1,67,304. Majuli has been historically recognized as an important cultural center of the new Vaishnava movement led by Mahapurush Srimanta Sankaradeva and his foremost disciple Madhavdeva in the wake of 16th century A.D. Salmora village lies on the southern bank of Majuli Island, and it is largely inhabited by the Kumar community, who are efficient potter and boat makers. It is said that Kumar had their early settlement in Sadiya on the bank of River Brahmaputra in Upper Assam, and they migrated to this island in the quest of suitable clay for pottery in different phases during the period from 13th to 16th century A.D. Pottery in this village is traditionally handmade and practiced mainly by women. They produce different varieties of utilitarian pots, ceremonial and decorative items, and supply to fulfill the people's demand in the island and other villages and towns. The inland water transport plying from the village to the nearby town, carrying a large-scale pottery, is a pleasing sight to the spectators. At the outset of the monsoon, pits are prepared on the river bank to assemble clay during the floods. In the rainy season, the site gets filled with spanking new alluvium deposits on the bank of the river. Suitable clay is dug out and collected from 30 to 40 feet deep inside the pits and heaped on the bank of river. The clay is then transported back to their yard at their homes. It is stored in a pit by mixing with water and covered with sand to reserve for their annual use. Pottery work begins after the monsoon is over. The potters use traditional tools and devices for making pots. A thali, an earthen bowl used for dipping water at the time of preparing rim of the pot. Afori is a shallow and wide earthen bowl with a blunted bottom end used as a rotor to shape the pot. Pitoni, a wooden or earthen club or a beater. Balia is a stone or mud-made anvil. One of the unique features of this pottery is the effective use of a device called afori. When the foundation of a pot called colony is prepared from a lump, it is placed on the afori to provide the desired shape. A unique gesture of turning the edge of this bowl-like device with a toe of the potter at the time of making pot endorse a great skill of craftsmanship. It sometimes appears to be a cognitive phase of transitional between handmade and wheel pottery also. The open courtyard of the house is mainly used for drying the pots under the sun. The dried pot is given pre-firing treatments and decoration with ronga mitti, a kind of red clay which the potters obtain from the banks of Deragaon Achal, where deposits of the soil are abundantly available. Preparing a ceremonial pot is given care and followed social customs and practices. For a marriage ceremony, special pots called avantekali, a pot for sacred water, and dohatekali, a pot for curd, are prepared with appropriate rituals. When a marriage is fixed, tamul pan, betel leaves and nuts, from the groom's house is given to make these pots. The potter who prepares these will have to undergo fasting for 1 day. The next day, after taking bath, and conducts the ritual worship. At the time of preparation, certain things are observed, which deeply are linked to the marital relationship between the two. It is believed that if the pot breaks in the middle of the work, then the day of marriage will be extended. If water accumulates in the pot, it will rain on the day of wedding. If the pot breaks repeatedly, it is a bad sign for the marriage. The villagers use a traditional kiln to fire their pots. It is a raised circular wall structure having a central furnace with 4 openings on it. The upper surface of this circular kiln is covered with wooden frames and layered with mud and straw. The front wall has a space set inwardly to provide a space for setting fire into the furnace. A person can enter inside this open space and control the fire as per required temperatures. Pots are assembled and arranged in a suitable manner for firing. It is covered with grass and layered with mud, forming a dome-like structure. The fire is set from the furnace, which uniformly distributes to the entire dome structure. It takes about 3 to 4 hours to fire the pots, and they are removed only when the upper dome surface gets completely cool. The pottery of Majuli Island in Assam mirrors the glorious culture and tradition of their ancient practices. Although the potters started to use wheel-drawn mechanized pottery, the traditional belief system are still deeply embedded among the potters. This exhibition of the museum was curated in 2016 by inviting potters from the Salmora village of Majuli Island, Assam. Thank you, viewers, for watching this online episode of IGRMS. We will meet again with another episode. Till then, goodbye, take care and stay safe. Namaskar.